We all want to reach maximum efficiency in our lives and improve ourselves daily to reach our dreams. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you one tip which has really helped me really see visible self-improvement in my own life. And I thought I would love to share it with you as well, because of course this channel is all about self-improvement day by day. And if anything can help you, then I would love to share it with you from my personal experience. And today, what I'm going to be sharing with you is none other than journaling. And journaling is something which I never really did for a very long time until very recently when my friend gave me a book. It's a really, really beautiful book. I really enjoy it. The skin of it is really nice. I really enjoy touching it, and it has nice blank lines in it, so you could write straight, and now you could just say I'm just describing any old notebook, and that's probably right as well. But I have special attachment to this book. I really enjoy it. I really love writing in it, and the paper is really good, and the pen's nice. But okay, that's going beyond the point. But nevertheless, I was given this notebook as a gift at the end of my high school, and I never really cared about journaling before that, nor have I ever thought about it. But then I was thinking, all right, I've been given a book with loads of empty pages. What can I do with it? What should I do with it? And of course, it's not really good to just get a book and just like throw it away, especially after your friend writes a wonderfully nice note at the front of it with a nice phrase saying, because every great thinker and reader needs something to write down their thoughts. So I was like, well, all right, I can't just leave this to rot in some random corner of my house. I must make use of it. So then I started journaling, and when I started journaling, it was kind of like a once a month thing. I was doing it when I ever had some thoughts. So I wasn't really keeping this journal with me wherever I went. I would leave it somewhere, then if I saw it and I had some thoughts in mind, I'd write something in it, and then I'll leave it, and then another month would pass and I would just come back and write something on it. But then after a while, I started reading back at my notes, and I was like, actually, this could be quite a helpful thing just therapeutically, and also just understanding my development over time. So I thought to myself, well, perhaps if I could improve myself by reading my journal, which I was writing once every month, perhaps I could make it shorter. Perhaps I'll write once every week. So as a result, I started writing once every week. I'll read it, I'll figure out what I did well during that week, some of my thoughts that I had during that week. I'll write it down, note it down, write down the date, and then I'll carry on, and then once a week, and I'll look at that. Maybe after a month, I'll read back about what I wrote during that month. And after that, I was like, well, actually, if it's that helpful of me doing it once a week, I thought, well, how about I do it once a day? And of course, that you might say is a massive waste of time, but I decided actually to do it once a day, and I found it quite helpful as well when I had it once a day. Of course, when I was writing a month, I was writing 3 pages, 4 pages, even 5 pages each time. And when I was writing a week, I then dropped that down to 1 page. And when I dropped it to a day, I was writing like half a page in bullet points. So the amount I'm writing each time, the intervals are getting smaller, is shorter because there's less things to write in between those periods. Nevertheless, I do think that having the journal was a very helpful part, or a helpful thing in my life to track that development in my life. So now that we've talked about kind of how I got into journaling and how I found it helpful, perhaps we can talk about why you should journal. And of course, I've touched upon it a bit. You could track your development over time, but I think there's more important things to journaling than just that. The most important of that being it helps self-reflection, because when you're writing something down, it's very different from just thinking about something in your head. When I practice philosophy as a student of philosophy and theology at Oxford, I constantly like to make the clarification, the distinction between having an idea, an argument, a concept in your head and writing that down on paper. Because when something's in your head, things could sound way better than they actually are. For example, I came up with this absolutely wonderful argument in my head about how Freud's argument from wish fulfillment was in some way circular and self-dependent and all these sorts of problems with it. And I was thinking, okay, this is a wonderful argument. I even wrote it out in a bit of a fiction, and I thought, well, actually, this seems to work. But then I thought, well, actually, no, I have to write this argument down logically in a logical premise to see where this argument was actually going. And after 3 hours of looking at that argument, of trying to figure out what I was actually thinking about, I realized my entire brain was coming up with some absolute utter nonsense. I would say that a lot of people, when writing down their ideas, you actually get a physical representation of what you've done, and you can look at it and read it back, and you say, well, 1 month ago I did this. How stupid was I to do that? I shouldn't do it again, right? So in the same way, by writing things down every single day, just small things down, it will really help you develop in that sense. Another way is, I found it strangely therapeutical, you know? I mean, when people tell me like, well, all right, you could do all of these good things for your mental health, meditation, all that, I always throw that out the window because I don't really care about such stuff. I think you kind of know what you need to do anyways, and whether you're feeling good or you're feeling bad, you should do it anyway, so I don't really care about the meditation side of things. But one thing I did realize was writing down my thoughts was actually quite helpful, because it's easy to have some ideas, and I think Jordan Peterson talks about this a bit, and I think he has quite a big course online about self-authorship, about writing things down. I likewise have found that writing things down have really helped me understand myself a bit better, and also just understand what I was thinking. And now, not all the times you're writing into your journal has to be like, okay, I've done X, Y, and Z today. You could write a poem in there or something else, but I found it really helpful just writing kind of poems, writing notes into the journal, and that's been very helpful over time. And of course, reading back and reflecting on it has been ultra helpful in the same way. So now you might be thinking, well, how can I get these benefits of journaling? Before we do that, however, I would like to just let you know that if you do enjoy this video so far and have found it helpful, then like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. It really helps this channel grow. And also share it with your friends who might really enjoy this message as well. Or share it with your parents if you want your parents to buy you a nice notebook like this, but you don't really want to spend the money for it. This might convince them to actually splash the cash to help you out. So with that in mind, let's carry on with the video and talk about what you actually should write in your journal. Now that's a very personal thing. As you can see in my journal, there's a mix of just random philosophical text to more random philosophical text. I study philosophy and theology after all, so I write a lot of that. So some theological text as well. And then apart from that, I also have some notes on what I do every day. So I have what has done well, what I could have done better, and also a note on my screen time, which I found very, very helpful, because for all you people who spend loads of times on Reels and Instagrams and waste your time for that, marking your screen time every day goes to show how your screen time usage develops or decreases. Now, of course, you could go to screen time in settings, but there's nothing better than writing it down, actually having to look at it every single day to find yourself guilty of how much time you've wasted on Instagram or YouTube. So I could go back and see, on the 5th of February this year, I spent 2 hours on my phone. Now, that's a mix of WhatsApp, Instagram, everything I use, but I've used my phone for 2 hours. The next day I did 3 hours. So as you can see, all of these kind of mixes in together to let you know, well, am I doing well? Am I using my phone excessively and whatnot? So you can add your screen time in there. You can also say, what can I do better today? What have I made a mistake? So on the 5th of February, I could talk about me needing to be more efficient. There has to be less downtime, have to be more focused, and speak slower in YouTube videos, which, as you can see from the pace of this video, I probably should be improving a bit more. But at the same time, you can see how tracking just what you're doing well and what you're doing bad and how that develops over time can be extremely helpful in a journal. So with that in mind, that is how you journal. That's how you can really improve your productivity, how you can improve yourself. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. It really helps the channel grow. And stay safe, my friends. See you soon. Thank you for watching. Share this video with your friends if you think it's going to be helpful. And goodbye. I see you next one.